Sabrina Ionescu was a late addition to the Unrivaled League. Due to that, she accepted with the league knowing she had pre-scheduled obligations already booked. She missed a weekend earlier in the season when she had to go to Paris with Nike as one of their brand ambassadors. Then, All-Star Weekend happened to be on Unrivaled's mid-season break, so she did not miss any time traveling for that. Now, Phantom BC and the league announced this weekend that Ionescu's season is over. She will be heading on Nike's Asia tour for the next bit before returning to New York to prepare for the WNBA season. While Ionescu missed a bit of time and ultimately left Unrivaled early, it was definitely still beneficial for her to be there. Ionescu has never been one to play overseas in the WNBA offseason, instead opting to train herself. That means she had to find her own training staff and ultimately find people to play scrimmage games with. Unrivaled gave her the chance to do that same work, but get to play in games with her actual WNBA teammates and competitors, while also getting the benefits of Unrivaled's training facilities. When asked about her experience at Unrivaled, Ionescu said that, "I wasn't sure what to expect coming in, and to be able to see personally, in real time, the growth that I've wanted to see in parts of my game that I kind of was determined to work on is really exciting, because you're able to see it in real time." She also saw the benefits of being in Miami. "Normally, I'm in my off-season, trying to find people to play with, and now here we have this Unrivaled season where you're playing against the top players in your league, and you're able to get kind of that competition that you need to see if it's translating," she said. "It's been really exciting to be able to work with the best on the things that I've wanted to be a part of my game, and then go out and compete and have fun while doing it. So I'm super excited to see how that continues to translate and helps grow my game." Ultimately, Unrivaled is a development league. Sure, it also needs to be appealing from a fan perspective to be able to draw in viewership and revenue, but its intended purpose was for development. So, while it may be a little disappointing for a fan to not see Ionescu play the whole season, it's actually beneficial in the long run, as it could advance her game come the WNBA season. By far the most injured team in Unrivaled this season has been Laces BC. Jackie Young has not played very much due to an injury. Alyssa Thomas was injured very early on in the season and has been in and out of the lineup. Kate Martin suffered an injury as well, so she has not played very much either. Even when Laces brought Betnijah Laney Hamilton on as a relief player, she soon suffered a season-ending injury. On other clubs, Marina Maybray missed the first half of the season with a calf injury she sustained in training camp. Jewel Lloyd has been managing an injury, to name a few. Over the weekend, Thomas played just her second game back after injury and also was on a minutes restriction. Her Laces ended up losing in a 1-point game to Vinyl, but Thomas said after the game, "I feel good. I think we're all trying to figure this out with a minutes restriction. So it's the first time we've all played together in a month. So a lot of moving pieces, but it felt good." After a hot start to the season, Laces were slowed down by these injuries, but could still make the Unrivaled playoffs. Head coach Andrew Wade was confident Friday in his team's chances, stating, "We've got so much confidence in the locker room, we're still in a good spot to clinch. It's tough, obviously, with a lot of moving pieces, but it's a testament to the players have been working their ass off the last month to get healthy. So, yeah, we feel good." While that's just a normal aspect of sports, it also leads to the question of these players' availabilities for the WNBA season. It's already March, and the WNBA draft is on Monday, April 14th, with training camp starting on April 27th. Unrivaled players will have over a month in between to rest and rehab before they need to ramp up for training camp, but if some of these injuries are longer term, it may mean they could miss WNBA games. One thing Unrivaled has been transparent about is the communication between players, coaches, and teams with their WNBA teams and staff. When Ionescu and Laney Hamilton were both out for different reasons, the New York Liberty even released their own statement about their player. With just 2.5 minutes left in the Phoenix Mercury's opening round playoff game against the Minnesota Lynx, Diana Taurasi took her spot on the bench. It felt fitting, considering the arc of her career, that she'd foul out. Picking up a technical foul along the way, she'd exit to a standing ovation from the opposing squad and their fans. Few players have given the Lynx more headaches or hilarity over the years. And yet, in what might have been Taurasi's final professional game, chants of one more year echoed through the arena. Everyone understood the magnitude of the moment. One of the greatest players to ever play the game, The most prolific scorer in WNBA history may have just played her final game. For a second, Taurasi seemed to take in the moment, but when it looked like her emotions might get the best of her, she shifted back into competitor mode, directing her teammates from her spot on the bench. It was too late by that point. Led by a record-setting performance from Napheesa Collier, the Lynx had the game well in hand, but it was all she could do to stave off an uncertain future. After the game, a rapt audience waited for Taurasi to join her coach and teammates at the podium in the post-game press conference, but she never showed. One more chance to keep the future at bay. But earlier this year, the future came calling. It was the start of the new year, the time that Taurasi would usually throw herself into training, preparing for the start of a new WNBA season. For years, it seemed like Taurasi's off-season dogged preparation allowed her to outrun Father Time. But this time was different. She led a different life now. Even without basketball, she was full and happy. "I just didn't have it in me," Taurasi admitted in an interview with Time magazine. "That was pretty much when I knew it was time to walk away." And just like that, the career of perhaps the greatest women's basketball player of all time was over. The resume is unmatched. 6 Olympic gold medals, 6 EuroLeague championships, 3 WNBA titles, and 3 NCAA championships. The individual accolades are too many to name, but simply put, she is among the most decorated athletes in history. Lately, there has been a rush to confer greatness on some, to anoint players as the chosen one before they've done anything to earn the title. But not DT. She has earned every plaudit sent her way. One day, Taurasi's individual achievements may be eclipsed. Someone will score more than Taurasi's 10,646 points or win more championships or MVPs. But no one will do it all. Diana Taurasi will remain a singular figure in women's basketball. Honestly, it's hard to imagine the game without Taurasi. The WNBA has existed for 28 years, and Taurasi has been a fixture for 20 of them. When Taurasi came onto the scene, America had certain expectations of female athletes. They wanted the bright and cheery all-American girl. In short, they wanted exactly what Sue Bird molded herself into. But Diana Taurasi steadfastly refused to be anything other than exactly who she was. America wanted a demure female athlete who reacted to wins and losses with the same grace, and instead, Taurasi gave us an ultra-competitive, arrogant, demonstrative hooper who loved winning and hated losing with equal fervor. She redefined what it meant to be a female athlete. Taurasi didn't seem to mind being the on-court asshole. By all accounts, she's a kind and generous person off the court, and relished the chorus of boos that'd greet her in opposing arenas. No one was safe from Diana Taurasi. Not refs, who she promised to meet in the lobby after a call didn't go her way, not arena doors, and certainly not other WNBA players. She regularly tops WNBA player surveys of the league's #1 trash talker. In the week since announcing her retirement, we've heard one WNBA player after the next recount their welcome to the W moment, courtesy of Diana Taurasi. "My rookie season, I have the daunting task of guarding Diana Taurasi," Connecticut Sun guard Natasha Cloud recalled. "Running down in transition, she gets a pass, shoots a 3, punches me in my face as I'm contesting. They called the foul on me as I'm on the ground, covering my face." Former WNBA journeyman Laishia Clarendon also found themselves guarding Taurasi early in their career. As the pair waited for the ball to be inbounded, Taurasi chatted Clarendon up. She recalled that Clarendon was from San Bernardino, not too far away from where Taurasi had grown up in Chino. Taurasi was charming and charismatic, but when the whistle blew, she immediately flipped into competitive mode. Clarendon recalled Taurasi hooked her arm and drew the foul. News of Taurasi's retirement wasn't entirely a surprise, of course. During their final home game of the season, the Phoenix Mercury paid tribute to their franchise player's unmatched career with a tribute called "If This Is It." And though Taurasi had been quiet since the season ended, the offseason moves of longtime Phoenix mainstays Brittany Griner to Atlanta and Sophie Cunningham to Indiana strongly signaled Taurasi's future. I couldn't imagine either Griner nor Cunningham leaving the Mercury if Taurasi was going to return to the court. It is perhaps fitting that Taurasi chooses to leave the stage at this moment with little pomp and circumstance. I'm not sure Taurasi ever wanted to be famous. She just wanted to be great, and whatever fame came with that, she accepted begrudgingly. Her off-seasons spent in Turkey and Russia were just as much about the anonymity that living in a country where you don't speak the language provided as it was about making money and growing her game. Her annual Final Four show with Sue Bird notwithstanding, Taurasi eschews the spotlight. Taurasi never wanted to be the story. She wanted her game to be the story, the game to be the story. There's no greater evidence of that fact than the way she revealed her relationship with her former teammate, Penny Taylor. In 2017, Taurasi announced publicly that she was gay, had been dating Taylor for years, and now they were married in one fell swoop, as if she could not bear the spotlight for even a second longer. "That was our special thing," Taurasi said at the time. "We never kept it secret. We just didn't want that to be an issue ever. We knew when we walked through those doors, it was time to put work in and be professional." It's hard to imagine someone that adverse to the spotlight existing in this new era of women's basketball. Not with so many eyeballs on the players, not with so much focus on the personalities of the players, not when the game isn't the center of the conversation. And so, Diana Taurasi steps off the stage. Because of the work she's done, she leaves the game infinitely better than she found it. She leaves the game to a class of young women who, for their entire lives, have looked to her example. They may never match her resume, but may they always aspire to her greatness and do so, like Taurasi did, unapologetically.